There are plenty of articles and authors writing about the potential of reality TV to link up to the democratic possibilities of ordinary people getting on television. And indeed, this is behind a lot of the expose of reality TV, of which I've been a part. For more on this, you need to go to a podcast called Edge of Reality, which I think you can find on Audible. I'm a part of that as well. And that traces the reality TV phenomenon back to the Milgram experiment, these experiments where people are just invited to be nasty to each other and see how far people will go. These were the fake psychology experiments conducted in the 1960s in prisons. And, that tells you everything. But every so often stories pop up and they're always manipulated to look sensational, but in fact they always say the same sort of thing. One of these stories has popped up today in Metro magazine. It says that Britain's Got Talent is again outed as an organisation, as a television series which is trying to dupe the public with fake acts, with acts that are primed to fail, with acts that are designed to succeed, with acts that are scripted, and so on. I remember meeting a magician, the Deans of Magic, who were on Series 2 of Britain's Got Talent, Carl Dean and his assistant and wife. And they didn't really stand a chance. Now, when I spoke to them, it was quite clear that they had been set up. And they'd been invited. They hadn't applied to be on Britain's Got Talent. They were telephoned and asked if they would take part. And then they were persuaded to dress up in heavy rock costumes, which didn't quite fit, and so on. And they were set up to be put down by Amanda, who pressed her button and said, something should stay at home behind closed doors, and that's one of them. And Piers says, I rather liked your act. Well, damned with faint praise from Piers Morgan. They perform tricks with fire. Now, I know Carl Dean, and I remember having tea with him, and he performed tricks while we were having tea. He was irrepressible, in fact, and an extraordinary talent for magic and for entertainment, and a member of the Magician's Circle, and really a very professional individual, brought low, his career shattered really by the experience of saying yes to Simon Cowell. And Simon Cowell called these two like Dracula and his bride doing small magic tricks. But that's what they were asked to do. And after I met them, I thought, this is this true of all reality TV? I can't remember whether by that point I'd already been on a reality TV show. But certainly once I had been on a reality TV show, I realized it is part of the same lie. It's a lie. We buy into the lie because it's entertaining, but we buy into a lie anyway. We call it magic, we call it entertainment. And the easier it looks, often the harder it actually is. And a talent show on the television is not a talent show. It's an opportunity for reality TV audiences to sneer at those people who haven't succeeded. The camera lingers on the losers because that's what makes good television. And you participate in these things at your own expense, really. It's designed for failure. And I'm quite sure the Britain's Got Talent people already know who they're going to succeed, who they're going to choose. Rather like Alan Sugar, Lord Sugar, isn't filmed making the choice. You're fired, or whatever the rubbish is he says. Do you see him saying that to anybody? No, because the decision of who goes is taken by the panel of reality TV producers who work out who is getting the most traction. And they would go out of their way to keep people who are popular because it generates views. This is a highly manipulative business, and what you see is not something you can rely on. If you think it's about talent, you're wasting your time. If you think it's about a game, the game is the, as Hitchcock would have said, the MacGuffin. These things are duping audiences if you think that's what you're doing. Actually, reality TV is a very clever manipulation of the conceit of entertainment. My gripe with reality TV isn't about what's on the show, it's about the control that the show's producers tend to wield after the show is over. But do I think reality TV is genuine? Do I think it's real? Do I think that what you see on TV is some sort of reflection of reality? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And these little exposés, there's one today in Metro. It's, this sort of sharp intake of breath that the mysterious performers, The Witch in 2022, was concocted by Britain's Got Talent bosses before last year's creepy act, The Clown, was allegedly developed to recreate the hype. Do you think that's true? Scouting for talent on shows is nothing new, but to actually be creating acts out of thin air is ridiculous. No! That's what television has always done. That's what entertainment has always done, to create an act out of thin air. That's what it's designed to do. To think that these things are actually talent shows, to think that after auditioning potentials, they pitched the idea to freelance actor Andrew Fletcher, who spent weeks perfecting a scary clown act because it's entertainment and because he could. Now, this is no different really to the Steve Brockstein story, which exposes the manipulation, not so much of the backstage crew, though I think that's definitely part of the Steve Brockstein story, but also of those people who are fronted as judges, people like Sharon Osbourne, relatively talentless. She's just married to somebody who is a great musician, and she's developed a sort of sensationalist persona. I remember going to see a show that she was in called The Nativity. She had a very small part, and I milked it for all it was worth, but it was second-rate stuff. And yet there she is, lording it over people, acting as a judge, and she is vicious.
No, not fabulous. Listen, everybody knows the way I feel about Steve. I've never been a Steve fan. Steve has a very nice voice. For me, he's not a superstar. And I just have to say this. I am so fed up of Mr. Humble and Mr. Should I sell my Volkswagen? Should I keep it? He's overconfident. He's been overconfident from day one. He's not what he seems. Believe me, all that BS that he gives out every week. He's even fooled Simon. He's full of crap and he's an average singer. Okay. Ask everybody else on this contest. He's overly confident.
Thank you, Sharon. Simon.
I think the least I can do here is just finish by giving you a sample of Sharon Osbourne at her worst. And once you've heard this, you can never look at her again with any degree of positivity, I think. This is nastiness brought in front of the camera.
No. Let me know, Sharon.
Good luck to him. But the public should know
Sharon,
he's a fake.
Sharon, shut up.
He's a fake.
Just shut up.
Okay, thank you. We are running out of time.
Right, let me just...
So why would it not be kept? But it exposes the lie. These people are there audition piece, the attempt to discover the next star. These talent shows are not there to discover talent; they're there to showcase the judges. That's it, and their nastiness is part of the sale.